Halo, assalamualaikum. Cek cek cek. Oke, siapa aja Mas Farki yang datang hari ini? Ajeng, Faik, sama Rama udah online ya? Ajeng, Faik, Rama bisa dengar suara saya? Ya nggak apa-apa Mas Farki. Lagian saya bilang ke si guru sayanya mulainya 7:30 biar kita dianya nggak nunggu. Selain itu, yang lain pada datang atau nggak bisa? Halo Vivi, Faik, Ajeng, Rama, suara saya nggak kedengeran. Oke anak. Halo juga Vivi. Mik kamu belum mati ya? Udah jam berapa di situ? Oh iya, masih biru di sini. Haha, udah malam. Hmm. Ya nggak apa-apa Din. Si Udin pasti belum chat. Jadi yang di sini yang sudah lulus kuliah siapa aja? Ajang lulus kuliah baru semester ini kan ya? Sampai 9 semester juga satu digit ya. Jangan gitu dong. Oke, oke Mas Rocky. Terus Ajeng sekarang ngapain? Kerja. TV keluar lagi. Ada berapa nggak pernah nongol lagi Mas Farki ya? Rian bisa nggak hari ini? Aktif ya Rian. Nerjemahin bahasa Jerman. Wow, ngeri. Kamu buka kelas bahasa Jerman aja, Jeng. Ntar gue ikutan deh. Yang di sini nggak ada yang nge-play LPDP kemarin ya? Lagi wawancara kan sekarang. Bener ya, Jeng? Berikutnya BT bikin kelas bahasa Jerman. Kan banyak gurunya di sini ya. Vivi juga bahasa Jerman udah tamat kan ya? Becuai bukan kamu masukin itu di inian di CV bukan CV yang tugas kemarin. Ada lagi siapa ya? Ruli apa? Sekar yang pakai bahasa Jerman itu siapa ya? Pokoknya kalau nggak salah yang ngambil sastra Jerman cewek semua. Ada yang muncul. Asli mic-nya masih nyala ya? 4 tuh kampusnya siapa tuh? Ada yang untab kalian tuh. Suaranya sih masih masuk sih, tapi mungkin bentar lagi mati. Kalian udah dapat bahan presentasinya belum? Ya, si guru saya baru slide itu yang TOEFL, tapi nanti dia bakal jelasin yang IELTS juga. Dia akan lebih banyak tahu yang IELTS katanya. Dia sempat disuruh ngisi aja pakai sekolah Brighton kalau nggak salah dari UK. Siapa lagi kira-kira yang datang ini Mas Boroki? Itu yang telat ya? Sekar sedang kena mati listrik, kasihan. Ruli terlambat. Hmm. Sekar tinggal daerah mana ya? Loh, kok hilang orangnya? TV di sana internetnya lancar. Matanya udah kereyep-kereyep. Iya. Tapi mahal ya di sana biaya hidup. Biaya hidup mahal. Siap-siap dimulai ya. Mas Waruki mic-nya masih nyala ya? Masih standby ya sih? Ya sekarang udah mati. Duh, terbatuk nih saya. Hmm. Wah, kasihan aja. Check, check. Ms.Zizi, did you hear my voice? Can you please say something? No, I didn't hear you. Did you mute your speaker? Okay.
Now can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear my voice as well. Okay, let's start the meeting. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Oke, selamat malam teman-teman semuanya. Selamat datang juga Ms.Zizi. Perkenalkan teman-teman, Ms.Zizi ini guru saya. Jadi Ms.Zizi sebelumnya saya penjelaskan dulu. Biasanya di sini kita sambil ngetik, sambil bicara saya sambil ngetik karena ada beberapa yang belum bisa join buat voice call, kan internet kita kadang-kadang bagus kadang enggak. Sekarang udah ada beberapa orang, alhamdulillah cukup rame karena saya bilang Miss Zizi mau datang. Jadi rame. Ada Ajang, mungkin kelihatan ya di layar ya Miss ya. Ada
Yes.
Ajang, ada Vivi, ada Faik, ada Faruki. Mas Faruki ini koordinatornya. Ada Udin, ada Asih. Itu yang kelihatan di layar itu semua yang online. Kalau sedangkan yang lainnya ada beberapa yang via chat. Kalau nggak salah Abdul ya. Abdul. Begitu. Oke teman-teman, suara saya terdengar? Jadi berhubung biar nggak tabrakan, jadi biasanya ketika ada yang bicara yang lainnya di mute gitu. Jadi biasanya seperti itu. Jadi via chat biasanya mereka merespon gitu. Jadi emang agak kelihatannya kerasa agak sepi nanti kita bicara, tapi sebenarnya mereka ada kok. Jadi gak usah takut gitu. Jadi teman-teman, perkenalkan ini ada Ms.Zizi. Ms.Zizi, maybe you can introduce yourself to us, and you don't need to worry when you are speaking. I will try to type what you say. I hope my listening is still good.
Okay,
Time
thank you.
for you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, what am I supposed to say? You already introduced me.
I already introduced you as my teacher who taught me about Ielts since I knew nothing about it. And then
Well, I didn't
passed.
know anything about it either.
At that time, I knew nothing about that, right? I came
Yeah,
to
I
you
didn't
with
know
nothing in my head.
No, I mean, I didn't know anything either.
Come on.
Okay, so what am I supposed to do now?
Now they are here. They are expecting help from you to explain to them regarding comparison between IELTS and TOEFL and some general overview. what is IELTS, what is TOEFL, what's the differences, how to prepare, and another general stuff that maybe if you remember, that was the things that you explained to me in our first meeting.
A couple of thousand years ago. Okay. So,
okay.
Yeah, well, it was a long time ago. As I explained to you previously, I actually prefer it to be more of a discussion instead of me talking all the time. So before I start explaining anything, I want to hear what your friends know. So probably you could take turns and explain what you know about the three tests, two tests? I don't know.
Okay, wait. So I'm typing on behalf of Ms.Zizi.
I noticed. Should I speak faster?
Okay. No. Don't speak faster. I can't type it. Okay. As you heard, guys, so she wants to hear something from your side. So we can, I think, say something short, one by one. Start with Ajeng. You can turn on your mic and say and greet Miss Zizi. Ajeng, not Faik. Ajeng first.
Ya, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Actually, I don't know too much about IELTS because so far I just take test with the preparation, and I just know that IELTS is the test that based on British English and TOEFL based on American English. And the part of the test is when TOEFL has three section, that is listening, and reading, and also grammatic, that is writing, written expression. And about IELTS, I don't know. That's all.
Okay, thank you very much, Ajeng. Maybe the next person?
Yeah.
Vivi?
Oke, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hello, Ms.Zizi, Maski, and all of my friends. Well, related to IELTS and TOEFL, I have tried the test. For IELTS, I have tried 3 tests, and for the TOEFL, I have tried 4 tests. But all of them, I didn't pass it. Actually, I did my first last test for IELTS. I did it in September 2015, and then I got 5.5 for the band score, and then I continued to start to take the retest, and I got 6 for the band score overall. And then on June, I took the IELTS test again, but I didn't get at least 6.5 for the IELTS requirement. So related to IELTS and TOEFL, I have known the type of the question and also the way how to, but yeah, because my ability is real. Because my ability is still not good, so I couldn't pass it. So that's why I took I took another way to learn, which is I learned in English speaking country to improve my ability related to IELTS. So, and then I'm about to take the test, the IELTS test again, and I'm ready to face. Inshallah, I'm ready to face the four IELTS test here. Okay, I think that's all.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. So probably, Vivi,
Yeah?
I think you're more of an expert than I am.
I don't think so, Miss. You are much more
I believe
amazing
so.
than me.
No. I mean, I've never taken the IELTS test because I don't
Oh,
need to. I mean, I don't need to because I have no plans of studying abroad. So probably you could maybe help out in explaining.
oh, well, because I'm not qualified yet to explain something about IELTS, I think.
Well, you are very much qualified since you've taken the test 3 times and you're about to take your 4th test. I believe you are.
Yeah, I can hear your greatest action.
Oh my God, what should I say? I don't know what I'm going to say.
Okay, maybe we can pass to Faik first.
Oh yeah,
Thank you,
thank
Vivi.
you. No worries.
Faik, can you say something?
Yep. Hello. Good evening, Ms.Zizi.
Good evening.
As far as I know, when I talk about IELTS and TOEFL, I used to be part of IELTS simulation, and it was 400 the last point. And for IELTS, I don't even play it. Sorry, join it. And I hear from my friend that IELTS is more complex because it consists from fitness. If we can improve our communication to the other to the tester in front of us, I guess like that.
Okay, I think I missed part of your
Yeah,
explanation.
enough.
Probably my internet connection was dodgy. I'm not sure. Yahya, can you fill in what he said because I missed part of it?
Yeah, I think he has problem with the connection. I also missed some of them. I thought it was mine as well.
Oh, okay. I thought it was mine.
But Faik, yeah, Faik, he has tried the TOEFL test for and he got score for 400 and somethings. But he hasn't tried any IELTS test. But yeah, he has an idea from his friends suggesting that IELTS is more complicated than TOEFL. That's what we need you to explain to us.
Okay, that's what I heard from him too. So thank you, Faik. Who is next?
Next is Mas Faroki. Mas Faroki, can you hear us? Or maybe we can pass to Udin first.
Okay, hello.
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 Hello, Miss Zizi and Maski.
Hello.
I'm going, I will tell you about my IELTS and TOEFL. I tried TOEFL about 2 times and I got 540. But the requirement for the study is about 550. So since I know that, I try to learn about IELTS. I try to learn about IELTS since last month. Yeah, and I got learn in Kampung Inggris in Pare. When I studied there, I only got about 6 in overall band score. But yeah, and now I try to learn about that. The comparison that I know between TOEFL and IELTS, TOEFL consists of 3 sections. First section is about listening, and then second is about the written expression and structure, and the third is about the reading. It's slightly different between comparison with IELTS. IELTS comparison consists of 4 sections. First section is listening, and the second section is about reading, and third and fourth is about the speaking and writing. Yeah, and also the listening and reading has very different with the TOEFL, because in the listening in TOEFL we only cross and hear what the speaker say and what is does mean of woman or woman imply, but in IELTS we should fill the blank directly as as the speaker say. So I think it's more difficult than TOEFL. And about the reading, also, yeah, it try to we are analytical, maybe about yes, true of the given question, and then how to match the heading or the topic about the paragraph. Yeah, and also I think it's has a big difficult. Yeah. And about the speaking and writing, as far as I know, the speaking test is try to learn how how fluent, and how to grammatical, about how to have a good grammatical and lexical resource for vocabulary, and how to make a good sentence like that. And about the writing, we given about 2 texts, test 1 and test 2. Test 1 is about the chart or given the diagram, and the second test 2 is about we give topic by the passage, and then we should try to write about 250 words. Yeah, that's all that I know, Miss. And yeah.
Okay, that's excellent. That's everything I know too. So can I go now?
Yeah, sure.
No, thanks, you need me. I mean, I think you know everything about it. So,
But yeah, yeah, I only got 6, but I think you already got a 7 or above, I think.
I've never taken a test.
Okay.
She got 12.
Yeah. Oh
That
my
is
god.
a big fat lie.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you, Din.
Thank you, Udin.
Last one, Asi, please. Are you there, Asi? Mbak Asi, can you hear me? Oh, Mas Faruqi, can you hear me? Okay, if there is no answer, so maybe we can start to the presentation, or anything, discussion or lesson or story that Ms.Zizi want to deliver to us tonight.
Okay, so yes, okay, thank you very much. So I think that a lot of you have a lot of experience with both tests, but I noticed that your TOEFL scores are like 400 something, 500 something, and that means you took the paper-based test. Is that correct? Has anybody taken the IBT?
I don't think that they had, as far as I know, they took only the paper-based, yeah, the ITP one, not the IBT.
Okay, so why did you take the ITP?
They are typing.
Yes, I'm waiting. It's fine. Don't worry.
Oh, I'm coughing too much, sorry.
You should drink.
Back then, yeah, the IBT can only be taken in Jakarta
Mhm.
or one in Surabaya. And back then, for IELTS PDP, we should take both either IBT or to IELTS. But now, I heard from my friend, and yeah, he passed it. LPDP, we can pass LPDP with the ITP as well now.
Okay, but don't you need LOA, letter of acceptance, and to apply overseas, they don't really accept
Yeah,
paper-based test.
yeah, that's true. Sometimes the university require the IBT one. Yeah, that's true. It's depend to
Okay,
the
so
university.
does anybody know why most universities do not accept the ITP? You can answer by phone, you can answer by typing, whichever you want.
Guys, as you heard, you can just turn on your mic and then give the short answer if you're too tired to type.
Okay, so Muhammad Sharifuddin, that's Udin, right? Okay, so it's not accepted and not qualified as a standard in European or British countries. Well, that's not really the reason, actually. My question was why it's not accepted.
You can turn on your mic and then answers, no problem.
I'm used to everybody talking at the same time in class, so I won't be worried about that.
Yeah, Ms.Zizi love the noisy things.
Yes, I hate hearing my own voice. I want to hear you talk.
But your house is so quiet, Ms.Zizi.
Sorry?
Your house is so quiet, especially when
My,
there is no cats there.
my cat was purring in front of the microphone just now. You didn't hear her?
No,
She's sitting right
thank
next to
you.
me.
Was that the stupid one?
Yes, I only have one cat now. The other two passed away.
The other two passed away. The one, it was the stupid one, or she learned already?
She's not stupid, actually. She's very smart, and she uses her, well, whatever, to show her dominance or to mark her territory. So it's not that she's stupid. Okay, I think I like Vivi's answer because ITP doesn't show our real ability in English, which is really important to live in an English-speaking country. Yes, probably I agree because the IDP only tests your listening, structure, and reading, whereas you don't really have any productive skills there. And when you're studying in an English-speaking country, you need to produce English. That's why probably they don't accept the ITP. Agreed?
Agree. No other option.
Okay. I'm not forcing you to agree. You can disagree.
No, yeah. Udin said the same things.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. Okay, so actually the IBT, the internet-based TOEFL, is accepted in a lot of countries. But I think nobody here has the experience yet to tell you the truth, I haven't ever taken the IELTS test. I haven't ever taken the IBT. But because I teach the classes, that's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, I teach both classes. Okay, so the IBT actually tests all 4 skills, as with the IELTS test. It has reading, writing, listening, and speaking. But there are slight differences. Does anybody know what the differences are?
Does anybody know? Fifi. Yeah,
Okay,
she's
you
typing.
can actually talk. You don't need
You
to
can use
type.
your mic, yeah. But she's in
I-
Melbourne now. It's like 1 p.m. there already. 1 a.m. Okay.
Okay, as far as I know, for IBT we do the test with internet connection, right? Not we answer the we do not answer the test directly. So I think only that actually, as I know. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay. So I usually suggest the IELTS test to my students, probably because it's, what can I say, more sympathetic. So when you take the IBT, especially for the speaking part, it's very challenging because if you're not used to talking to a machine, you might miss your window of opportunity because the speaking test and the reading tests, the writing tests, they're both interactive. So they will give you some listening materials, some reading materials, and then you have to come up with some sort of summary. And that means it's all your skills are incorporated together. Okay? And for the speaking, they give you like 45 seconds to prepare and 1 minute to answer. So if you miss that window of opportunity, you have nothing on the recording, you get 0. So probably that's why I suggest the IELTS test, because you actually talk to a person. And usually a person still has a heart. So they will wait until you are ready to answer. Okay, does anybody want to say anything? Go ahead. I hate hearing myself speak.
You have to get used to it. Yeah,
Okay, I'm
just
getting,
turn on your mic.
Gosh.
Turn on your mic, all of you.
Wait.
Ajahn, Faik.
Yeah. Stop. It's Mike, not Mick. Mike.
Yeah, sorry. She's my teacher. And Udin, turn on your mic.
Thank you.
Faruk, you can turn on your mic. And then Faik as well, because she wants to hear noise.
Not just noise. I want to hear you speak.
Yeah. Okay. You can continue. Ms.Zizi, she already elaborated us about differences between IBT and IELTS, just from the IBT side. Okay.
Any comments, questions?
Okay, Miss, I got it.
Okay. So would you like to add something, or you want to ask, or anything? Just give a contribution.
Yeah, I think my friend told about the IBT test, and she said that I think because she's not usual about the IBT test and talk to the machine as you say, and she think that it will be more difficult to take IBT than IELTS test.
Okay. I'm happy that somebody backed my opinion. Alhamdulillah. Thank you. Okay. So what else am I supposed to talk about here? Yeah.
Then about the IELTS.
What about the IELTS? I think everybody knows about the IELTS, except for Ajeng probably. And I'm sure she learned from her friends' explanations.
Ajahn, please
Just
explain
hit
to
me
us.
with questions. If I can't answer them, your friends can answer them for me. Or Yahya can answer everything. I'll just sit back and watch.
No, I'm just talking what I thought that I know, but I know things. Ajahn,
You
Mrs. asked you to ask her some Difficult question regarding IELTS,
No,
what you haven't know.
not difficult. I think you can actually talk. You don't have to type.
Yes, you don't have to type. Use your mic.
Yes, your mic.
Speak louder. Okay,
Okay.
Asif, did you hear me? Okay, and Mrs. is said if you have any question, not like what we usually did before, you can just ask and you can just interrupt. Yeah, because she really likes like a two-way direction of discussion. Don't know what should I say, no. So it does it mean that you know everything, Ajam, already? So you can explain.
Okay, so what do you want me to talk about first? You want me to talk about the IELTS test, part per part, or you want overall suggestions, or what?
There's a question from Ms.Zizi. Do you want to hear about the... I think I don't need to repeat it. They heard it already. Okay, Mbak Asih. Is there any question, Mbak Asih, regarding the IELTS and what part of IELTS that you really want to know? Actually, we were asking you to speak when you were not there, I think. Mas Faik, you can use your mic as well. Because yeah, when you are typing, so we have to wait. Miss Zizi only have 7 hours tonight.
That's cute.
Yeah, if there is no answer from them, so for me, I think it's after the explanation about how to do the IELTS test, but I think it's good if you give more another overview about the IELTS test, the step by step, and we can focus more to IELTS since I think everybody here they prefer IELTS because they're yeah, these guys they're aiming to go to Germany compared to other countries, but yeah, maybe they will change their mind, but actually this group is special for people who want to go to Germany, so that's why they
Okay.
prefer IELTS as well.
So does that mean that in Germany they prefer the IELTS test over the TOEFL test, or you can use either one?
I think we can use both, I think, but Europe, usually, yeah, in general, Europe, they prefer IELTS.
Okay. Okay, so what am I supposed to talk about here? So of course, the IELTS test begins with the listening, and listening has 4 parts, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 4 parts, and it becomes progressively more difficult. So the first part is supposed to be the easiest, and the last part is supposed to be the most difficult. But Bifi, is it correct?
Yes, but it's completely correct. Yes,
Okay,
Mrs.
thank
No worries.
So the first part is usually a conversation that is not an academic topic, but it is in an academic setting. Sometimes it's in an academic setting, but it's not really an academic topic. And then the second dialogue, and not really dialogue. I think the second one is usually a talk. Again, a non-academic subject. The third one is a dialogue, could be up to 3 people in an academic, what is it? They're talking about something academic. And the last one is usually a lecture. It's usually the longest. And one suggestion is whenever you take the test, in the IELTS, reading instructions is really, really important. Very different from the TOEFL test. When you do the TOEFL test, you should just ignore any instructions you see because all of the instructions will be the same. Whereas in the IELTS, I believe that your ability to read or understand instructions is as important as answering the questions themselves.
What do
Okay,
you mean to understand the instruction and the instruction is different? Is that every IELTS test will have different instruction or what?
every single part has different instructions. Sometimes every 3 numbers, every 5 numbers have different instructions. Sometimes you can answer with only 1 word, sometimes 3, sometimes 1 word and 1 number. So you really need to pay attention to the instructions.
And that thing, it doesn't happen for TOEFL.
No, the TOEFL test, they use exactly the same set of instructions all the time. So whenever, if you're using the IBT and they pop out the instruction part, just dismiss. Dismiss, go straight to the questions. So it's very different from the Ielts test.
Okay, thank you. And what else do you suggest for
Questions, comments, anything?
questions? If there are any question regarding the listening part, please, before we go to another section. Yeah, for myself, I
Yeah,
have a
hello.
question. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hello.
yeah, please.
Yeah, hello. Yeah. I just found the difficulties about the listening. When you write down the about misspelling, and yeah, and then you like about s, it's plural or singular, and I think it's very difficult because you should guess exactly and correctly. It is plural or singular. If you
Okay,
choose
about
the answer, the correct answer is singular, yeah, and the answer is plural, so it is be the wrong answer.
okay, so there are some ways to help you overcome this particular difficulty. Or before you actually listen to the conversation or talk or lecture, they will give you like a minute or so to read the questions or read whatever you have there. So you need to pay attention to the grammar. The grammar will probably give you clues on what type of answer you need. So you guess whether you need an adjective, you need an adverb, you need a noun. Is the noun a singular? Is it a plural? What kind of verb you might need, okay? So that means grammar plays a very big part in listening too. So your answer should be logical, both grammatically and in general. Okay? Does that help?
Yeah, okay, thank you very much, Miss.
You're welcome. I'm not sure it helped or not.
Did I tell you that I have worse,
Yeah, because,
worse for in listening, Ms.Zizi?
And probably that's why you've stopped typing, because you don't understand what I'm saying.
Oh, that's so mean.
No, I mean, I'm just telling it as is.
Yeah, I forgot. I have to type it. Sorry.
And I'm not
Yeah,
helping at all, am I?
thanks for reminding. No, you're helping. Yeah. Yeah, but for me, I don't know. For me, the problem with listening, I don't know. Until now, I have problem with listening. Maybe I have problem with my ears, my hearing ability. Maybe I have to. I don't know. I did clean it before I came to the IELTS test, but still,
Okay,
I don't know.
yeah.
It's okay.
TMI. Okay,
Okay,
do you
Aisha
have some?
or other people have any question, or we can move to the another section. Oh, you still have many suggestions for the listening. Please, I need to listen for it. How to improve our listening skill, Miss? Now, just we talk about the how to do the test, how is the test, and what we have to pay attention, and now what we have to prepare, how to prepare it, how to train ourselves.
Okay, so what I've learned is most people who are well educated tend to be visual learners instead of auditory learners. That's why no matter how good your English is, if you're learning your, what is it called, your strongest learning skill is your visual, and then you have to listen, it's going to be very challenging. So you need to work extra hard on it. So how many of you know what learning skill you have? Which one is the strongest? Ooh, somebody's typing in Indonesian. That's cheating. English, please.
Okay. It's difficult to type and hear at the same time. I still remember what you said for the listening. Okay.
Okay, that means I'll probably need to speak more quickly. Agreed? Okay, anybody? Do you know what your learning style is? because we have three major learning styles. It's the visual, the auditory, and the kinesthetic style. Have you ever tested?
Yes, I love visual picture, but after test, I am auditory learning. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
You're an auditory learner. Okay, that's great. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Hello, Miss.
Yes, hello,
Yeah.
Vivi.
Yeah, well, I want to ask you about this listening test. Actually, this is the most challenging part for me. Based on my experience, when when I exercise, when I practice the listening before doing the test, I can pass the target that I have made before. But when I did the test, I had a problem with getting used to with the test. I mean, how to get comfortable with ourselves so my brain, my body will will connect properly to answer the test, because listening is the first part, which is the first test from four tests. And I always I mean how do you I don't know how to say that, how to get used to it, the test, how to make ourselves comfortable for doing the test, because listening is the first test. And yeah, but I think that's
Okay,
all.
I understand. I understand completely what you're trying to say. So you need
Yeah.
to adjust to actually sitting down taking the test, because previously you were just waiting around and then suddenly they put you into a room and then you're supposed to do 4 tests, 3 if you're lucky. Okay, so I'm the type of person who is always nervous too. And the only way to make me less nervous is to be well prepared. And the second one is to trust in God. So if you have problems in self-confidence and you've prepared the best you can, what you can do is probably before you go into the test venue, pray first, read the Quran, do anything that will calm you down. That's my suggestion. So after you try your best, I mean ikhtiyar, and then you pray.
Okay, thank you, Miss. Yeah, that's my problem. How to get confidence since the first test.
I totally understand because I hate
Yeah.
tests.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Thanks
Welcome.
for your
Anybody?
advice.
Okay, does anybody have any other suggestions for Vivi to overcome her nervousness during the first few minutes of the test? Anybody?
Just do not eat something heavy in the morning before the test. I don't know,
What?
some of us do not have a heavy breakfast. Some of us will have a problem with it if we have a heavy breakfast and then we get nervous. I don't know, for me as well. Then I will have a
Okay.
big problem with my body. I don't feel if our body that doesn't feel confident, and then it will become a problem to our brain as well.
Hello, Miss.
Yes,
Yeah,
hello.
to overcome the nervous. Yeah, to overcome the nervous, I try to listen some music. Yeah, for that.
Okay, so you listen to music. Okay,
Yes.
so
Soft music like what is it? Mozart, like that. Or yeah, I think
okay.
classic music, I think.
Classical music. Okay, so that's how you calm yourself down.
It makes
Okay.
me relax.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So probably you need to find a way that is effective for you, because everybody would have a different way of dealing with their nerves. But what I always find is if you have somebody to fall back on, that's much easier. And the somebody is always there with you. Again, trust God, and He will be there for you. Okay, thank you for the suggestion. Do we need to move on, or does anybody still want to talk about the listening section?
one question from me. I'm asking question more than the participants.
Yeah,
I have a
I know.
question. What if, like, sometime when I did the test, I forgot, I did it last time 2 years ago. When I did it, when I was doing the test, and then there were like a long conversation, and that we knew, like, we were waiting whether they already passed this answer or not in their conversation, for the, I don't know, the third or the fourth chapter of the listening section. Sometimes we have to fill in a blank, and we are waiting for the right answer that will come in the middle conversation, and we just miss it.
Okay,
The
I believe
problem
that
when we
would
just
be
miss it,
the
and
fourth.
I don't know when to go to the next question and skip this one, because I keep waiting, and then at the end I skip. I didn't answer like 4 or 5, 4 or 5 number. That's the problem. How to know that we already passed it or not?
Okay, so preparation is really important when you're doing the last two parts of the IELTS listening test, because, as I said before, it gets progressively more difficult. So the fourth part is probably the most difficult because it is actually a lecture, and you have to answer 10 questions at one go. In the previous sections, usually you answer maybe 5 questions, and then they stop the recording, they give you some time to answer, and then they start the recording again. But in the fourth part, there is no pause. So you're going to have to answer all 10 at one go. Before you start listening, they will give you time. Use your time effectively. You need to understand what you're looking at. Okay? So predict. So first of all, you need to understand what you're going to be filling in. Most probably, it's going to be notes from a lecture. So you take a look at the title, and then you look at the subheadings, because a good lecturer is like a good writer. They will be very organized. That means that when they move from one subject to another, they're going to give you a code. Okay? So based on that,
Uh,
okay, who wants to give some input?
okay, maybe we can move to the next section.
Okay, the next section would be what? What is the next section? Yeah, here.
The next section is reading.
Reading. Okay. So the reading is 3 passages, right? Still remember it?
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah, the third one will be very, very difficult for you guys who have passed. If you remember the third passage, it was like crazy. Like no one really, or no one didn't read the type of passage in the newspaper or anything. Why they make that passage, Ms.Zizi? You should answer.
Okay. So always progress from easy to difficult. The first few numbers are going to be the easiest, so they say, but it's not always true. Okay, so when you're reading, you decide which passage you want to start on. Okay, so that's why we have this skimming thing. Before you start answering questions, please skim the text. Just look at the text first. There are 3 passages. Look at the one you think is easiest for you. It's not the same for everybody. Okay? So for example, I'm a veterinarian. So if they give me a text about, say, biology or animals, I would probably start out with that one because that would be the easiest one for me. I have background knowledge, so it will help me understand the lingo they use, the vocabulary, and I would probably enjoy the text. That's why I would choose to do that one first. It could be number 3. So it doesn't have to mean I start with number 1. But if you're, let's say, more comfortable with the second text, start with that one. Don't force yourself to start with the one you think is the most difficult. So there are two factors that might affect which passage you think is the easiest. First one is, what is your background knowledge? Okay, so find the one that is closest to your background knowledge. The second one is the type of text. So sometimes we're going to find newspaper or magazine articles. We might find academic articles such as the ones you find in journals. And what other types do you think you might find? Anybody?
Yeah, that the journals things I don't like. Anybody? Fifi, do you still remember what kind of passage that you got in the reading?
Oh yes, it's about my background knowledge related to science or yeah, if I'm not mistaken like that.
But the third, I don't know, I hated the third passage. It's like,
Okay. Pass is supposed to be most difficult, Yahya. It is supposed to be the most difficult. Okay, so they would probably put the academic article last. That means the language that they use in the third passage is much more complicated because the target audience is better educated compared to the first one. Usually the first one is taken from a magazine or a newspaper article. That means the target audience is actually the general public. They should write in a fun and interesting way instead of in a stuffy, formal way. That's why the first one should be the easiest. But again, you need to understand what your background knowledge is. If your background knowledge has nothing to do with what they're talking about in the first passage, you can skip it. Don't worry, skip. Go to the next passage. Okay? Okay, anybody wants to give comments or probably correct me?
for reading?
Yeah, for reading? No?
Do we really need to just screening them, or some people they choose to jump to the question and then go back find the answer. Some people.
Okay, so yeah,
What do you suggest?
there are 3 steps. The first one is to skim the passage. Skimming the passage is to get to know the passage. As I always tell my students, humans or people or anything, anybody is afraid of the unknown. That is why people are usually afraid of the dark, because you can't see what's in front of you. You don't know what's happening around you. So that analogy could be taken to the reading test. If you don't know what you're facing, most probably you will panic. So that's why you should skim first. Does anybody know how to skim a passage? What are the steps in skimming a passage? Anybody? I think if you've done the TOEFL, you know how to skim. Anybody? Asi maybe or Ajeng?
Ajeng, Asi, you haven't said anything. Mas Faruqi, Faik, Udin, what is skimming? Faik, you can use your mic. I like to speak.
Hello?
I feel like British. Okay.
Hello. Yeah, I only know about maybe you can circle the time and the name of writer or like that, published book or something that it can be related as the topic. Yeah, about the keywords.
Okay, so that's skim.
Yeah, find the keywords.
Okay, so actually skim is reading really quickly just to get an idea of what type of passage or what kind of information you're going to be facing. So when you skim, what you do is you take a look at the title, you take a look at the subheadings, you take a look at any type of what is it called, text that looks different from the surrounding. Could be words that are italicized, words that are in bold. Okay, and then I probably would suggest you read the first paragraph, the whole paragraph, And then you read the first and last lines of the following paragraphs. That would probably give you a very good idea of what the passage is talking about. And you need to practice this. You need to set a time. For example, you have a target that you need to be able to summarize the passage in less than 3 minutes. This requires a lot of practice. Okay? And then after you skim, what do? Anybody? After skimming, what do you do?
After skimming. Yeah.
No skimming.
Yeah. Question.
Yeah, look into the question.
Yes, very good. So what do you do after you read the questions?
So I see the text again. So yes, I want to ask about that. How to manage our time to look at the question and then back to the text again. Sometimes I got difficult at that at that type of the test.
Okay, so all of the books suggest that you skim first and then you scan. So scanning is, first of all, reading the questions and then underlining the keywords. So when you want to look for a keyword, because you have already skimmed, you know what kind of words will come up again and again. Okay? So you don't use those as the keyword. You use words that are unique, words that you are positive will not be found more than once or twice in the passage. Okay? So if you have nailed the skill of finding your keywords, it should be very easy to find the answers. Okay? But another thing that I need to tell you is some questions are more difficult than others. For me, if they give an example, usually it's when they ask you to match paragraphs to headings. Sometimes they will provide examples. And before I attempt doing the task, I would look at the example carefully. I would try to read the paragraph where the headline is, and then I would try to make sense. Is it easy to connect between what they said in the paragraph and the headline? If it looks too difficult, I would skip that exercise. I would skip that part and go to the next part. Okay? If you have extra time, go back. Okay? So you don't keep doing something that you believe is difficult. I always believe in starting with easy first. You want to be confident. So you use your time effectively. If it's easy, you're going to spend only a few seconds on each question. That means at the end of the test, you will have a lot of time to go back to the questions you believed were difficult. Okay, that's one way to manage your time. But I have also had students who said that skimming does not work for them. So one of my students said that if she skimmed and then she looked for keywords and then she did the test in the way books told her to, she would achieve a lower score than doing it her way. Her way is to read the passage carefully from beginning till end. So she actually enjoys or reads the passage and then she answers the questions. And actually I'm the same type. But if you don't have a very fast reading speed, I don't suggest this. Okay, so you need to make sure that you can finish reading and answering all the questions. If not, you probably left, let's say you want to do passage 3 and then you only have 5 minutes left. Okay, so you need to set your priorities when you're doing exercises at home. Time yourself. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Miss.
Yeah.
But also, I have another question about paraphrasing. Sometimes I got difficult in paraphrasing because the text is stated different word with the question. So yeah, maybe because of like vocabulary, maybe.
Okay, so yes, when you keywords, you should be very open-minded when you look for the keywords in the passage. I believe that's what you're talking about. Because usually paraphrasing is done in writing. Okay, so what you do is, let's say they're talking about accidents. Okay, so you're underlining the word accident in the question, and then you look for the word accident in the passage. Sometimes, or not sometimes, you might not find it because they use other words to describe accident, maybe mishaps on the road, or let's say collisions. There are other types of words that they might use to describe the word accident. Okay? So what you need to do is be very open-minded. When you're scanning, that's what you do, right? You scan for the word that you underlined in the question. You need to be very open-minded because you might not find the word. You might find the idea instead. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Miss.
Was that clear enough?
Pardon?
Was that clear enough? I mean, did it answer your question?
Yes, it answered my question.
Yeah,
It
alhamdulillah.
helped so much.
Alhamdulillah.
Other question?
Anybody else?
Anybody else? I have a question as well for the reading.
Yes. Yeah, why would you take the test again? Do you need to take the test again?
No, maybe sometimes, maybe because I passed, like also Vivi, she took the test, so she got more questions. Because some of us, they haven't get a chance to take the test. And also I want to improve. For the readings, what I learned a lot was, because the third passage was the most difficult, so I spent really small time only for the third passage, and then I spend more time for the first and second. Like what you said, that it will be more productive if we spend our time on those two first passage. That's
Yes.
my strong suggestion. Just leave the third one unless you really have time. It doesn't mean that you don't look at it, but if you look at it and if you didn't get anything and many questions left, and then okay, move to the first two. Is that right? Miss?
Okay, yes, that's why I suggested skimming first, so you can pinpoint which passage will be easiest for you. Because a lot of my students, a lot of my students are preparing for their doctoral degree, and they are researchers, or they are, say, lecturers. They read academic journals all the time. So for them, an academic type of writing is the most comfortable. If I ask them to choose which one is the easiest, a lot of them would probably choose passage number 3. Surprise, surprise, it's true, because maybe they don't spend a lot of time reading magazines or reading books or reading whatever else in English. So the only type of English they encounter on a daily basis is the academic writing type. So for them, that would be the easiest. But again, find the one that is the easiest for you. Don't look at your friend. Don't ask your teacher. Ask yourself. Okay? Once you've decided that is
We
easiest,
cannot ask them.
yeah, well, I mean, when you're doing the exercise at home, at your
Okay.
English course or wherever, not during the test. Yeah, not during the test.
Okay.
You decide which passage or which type of passage is the easiest for you. Again, remember, there are 2 factors to consider. The first one is your academic background. The second one is the type of writing that you're most familiar with. If you really like reading academic journals, go ahead. Shoot, go to number 3 first. Sorry, go to the third passage first. Okay? So whenever you're doing a test, like a reading actually, you start out with the ones that you think are easiest. Even though the book you use says the first one is the easiest, it might not be the case. For example, I hate economics. I'm sorry for all of those who studied economics, but I hate economics. So if they put the first passage there and then it's about economics, I would probably skip. I would look for something that is more scientific, like more like biology or chemistry or whatever I can relate to. Okay, so always choose the one you feel most comfortable with. Yahya said he doesn't really like academic type writing, so go ahead. You don't spend too much time on the third one. It is much more productive, yes, to focus more of your energy and your time on the ones that you are more confident in answering correctly, rather than spending a lot of time on the third one where you know you won't really get all of the answers correct or not even half correct.
Yeah,
Okay?
that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, especially since we are not. Yeah, most of us we are still aiming like the mediocre score, like around 6.5 to 7. So missing many number in the third passage, I think it's okay. Do not push ourselves. But yeah,
Yes.
don't
Yeah.
follow me. Follow Ms.Zizi.
No, I haven't ever taken the test. Follow me. I'm probably misleading you. I'm just lying here.
Yeah, please,
Okay.
please remind me. There are 3 steps that you said. First is skimming. Second, go to the
Yeah.
question. And what is the third? I missed it.
Yes. So what is the third one? Anybody? After you skim, you get an idea of what you're going to be facing, and then you scan, you look at the questions, you find keywords, and then you look for the keywords in the passages, and then the last one is the $1,000,000 question. What's the third one?
Check, recheck, double check. No.
No. Sorry.
What is the third one? Udin?
Anybody? Hello?
They're still there. Usually they are still
I
there.
know, but I'm waiting for answers. They're probably asleep.
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, the point that I got is do the text with you are familiar with. Do the passage which is you are familiar with.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
But
so
this is the answer, I think.
you answer yourself. Okay, so the last one is anybody else? The gentleman, probably.
Gentlemen, Udin, he said that he doesn't know.
Yeah, I heard
Faik,
him. Yeah, he didn't know.
Faruqi, Ajahn,
And we have
not
this person
gentleman.
here, Rama
Asif.
Ananda.
Rama, where's Rama? Rama is there?
I saw his. Yeah, he's on the screen.
Oh, cool. Rama, please say something. Faik also. What's the third after skimming and then second look, go to the question, underline the keywords and looking for the answer. So we don't need to correct. Mrs. said we don't have time to do that. And then what?
The
Go to the
correction
left.
comes here. I was talking about the basic reading skills, not the steps you should take when you're actually doing the test. There will be others.
Okay.
Basic reading skills.
What's
Faik
the
says
third?
something. So
What
Faik
is-
says that the third step does not exist. It's a myth.
What?
Nothing. Nothing. He said nothing.
Oh, so it was only 3. It was only 2.
No, there are 3.
Ah, come on. What is that?
Okay, the third one is reading for detail.
Be confident. No.
Oh, the 3 basic reading skills are number 1, skimming, number 2, scanning, number 3, reading for detail.
Is it if we didn't get the answer or what?
Okay, so reading for detail is when the question is or cannot be answered just at a glance. Sometimes you find the keyword, but it doesn't really answer the question. You read the sentence, you expect to find the answer quickly, but you can't. So that means the answer is implied. Usually this is the yes, no, not given question. Because yes, no, not given is for
So
what?
yeah.
What?
Yeah, the yes.
What is it?
No, usually they give the sentence and then we should say that whether it's what it's mentioned in the passage or not, whether it's also confirmed in the passage or another way around. Is that true?
Actually, there are 2 types. We have yes, no, not given. We have true, false, not given. What's the difference between the 2?
Yeah. Okay.
Hello, nobody answered me. What's the difference between true, false, not given, or
Hello?
yes, no, not?
As far as I know, for false, true, or not given, it based on the passage, so you can clearly see in the passage. But yes or no, not given, it's just a writer opinion, so you can find it clearly in the passage.
Okay, thank
Is
you.
it?
It is almost 100% correct. I just need to tweak your answer a little bit.
Okay,
True,
thank
false,
you.
not given is usually easier to answer. Yes, no, not given is usually more difficult because, as you said, it is about the author's opinion. True, false, not given deals with facts, and usually facts can be seen clearly in the passage, whereas the opinion, it requires more of a subtleness. An author does not really say what he or she thinks. They would lead you into understanding how they feel by using certain clues, such as adjectives or adverbs, how they word their sentences. You can guess how they feel. You can guess what they think. Okay? So when you're doing yes, no, not given questions, it is very important to read it for detail. Okay? Okay, so one thing I need to remind you guys who have never taken a test. So when you're answering, you should make sure that you're answering true, false, not given, or yes, no, not given. A lot of students, a lot of test takers actually write maybe true, false, not given for a yes, no, not given question because they didn't really pay attention to the instructions. Again, instructions are extremely important. Okay?
Okay. And how do we improve our reading skill? Read a book. Okay. What else?
But I didn't say anything. I haven't said anything yet.
Okay. How do we improve these reading skills for this test? What the most effective way? The
The most
general
way
advice.
is, yeah, basically to practice. Use the skills that
Practice.
the practice. Practice
Practice
makes
reading.
perfect. Not only reading, because I read a lot. I can sometimes read up to 4 or 5 books a day, but that's reading for enjoyment. The skills that you need for doing the tasks are quite different. So you should probably download, what is it called, full tests, and then try doing them again and again, and use the skills that you've been taught, because the skills are there as a backup. Sometimes when we're feeling nervous, things that seemed become difficult. So you always need plan B. If you have a plan B, you've done the procedure before, you'll probably feel more confident. Okay?
Okay. So if there are other question, if there is not, so we can go to the third section. Usually after this section, it's already 2 hours and we already so tired. Is that true? 2 hours, Mrs. It's like 45 minutes and 1 hour, right?
The listening is around 40 minutes, and the reading is 1 hour. So that would be, yeah, less than 2 hours. But they do give you a break, a very brief break, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so the last one. The third one is what skill?
Third one is writing, the active skill.
Yes, Yahya's favorite.
Anyway, this the most difficult one for many people. For me, listening
Yeah.
is the most difficult part.
I agree that most people would believe that writing is one of the most difficult skills because even a native speaker might have difficulties in writing. It's like you guys, when you were in school, some of you would probably get very good scores when in Bahasa Indonesia you're supposed to write an essay. Other people would get very bad scores. So it's not about how good your English is. Some people are simply better writers than other people. So you probably need to practice all the time, and you need to familiarize yourself with the types of questions they will give you. My suggestion is, because there are two types of questions, there's the first task and the second task. Which one should we do first?
The first one.
The first one.
Okay, the second one. The second one. Sorry.
Gotcha there. Okay, so the second one should be done first because...
High score.
Okay, so it will get you it contributes to a larger score. Yes. So it's 2/3 of your writing score. And you should spend around 20 minutes on task 1, 40 minutes on task 2. Okay? So as I don't remember who said that, but the writing part 1 is 150 words, task 2 is 250. So from the number of words only, you can see that task 2 will probably carry more weight than the first task. Okay, so when you start task 2, you need to start with looking at the question. You need to understand exactly what they're asking you to write. Okay, there are different types of questions. Sometimes they will ask you to state your opinion, and then you defend your opinion by writing down, what is it called, arguments. In other cases, you're supposed to compare. So if you don't really read the question, you will probably answer in an incorrect way. Okay? So you need to sit down, read carefully, understand the question, underline the important aspects that you need to cover in your writing, and then you outline. Outlining looks like a waste of time, but it is not a waste of time. Even the best writers outline, okay? So after you outline, then you start writing. And there's one trick that I taught my students is to predict where your introductory paragraph should stop, how many body paragraphs you're going to write, and then where your concluding paragraph should stop. You're going to be given lined paper, and usually you already know how many words per line you write. So before you start writing, you count the number of lines you need to write. For example, let's say you have 10 words per line. That's your average. And you need to write how many words? 250. So you divide it by 10. You get 25 lines. Okay. After you know that you're going to write 25 lines, you need to mark your paper with your pencil very faintly. Okay. How many paragraphs are you going to write? Are you going to have 2 body paragraphs or only 1? Usually the norm is like between 1 to 3 body paragraphs, but I would say the happy medium is 2. So that means you're going to write 4 paragraphs, the introductory paragraph, body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, and the concluding paragraph. Okay, and you need to predict which paragraphs are going to be the longest and which one is going to be the shortest. Does anybody know which paragraph is going to be the longest, which one is going to be the shortest? Anybody?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Body paragraph.
Okay, so most probably your body paragraphs are going to be the longest. So they're going to take up the bulk of your writing. The shortest is? Fifi?
I think the conclusion.
Excellent. The conclusion usually consists of around 3 sentences. That means you don't need to spend a lot of space. You don't need to use a lot of space for your concluding paragraph. So you count from the first line, count down to 25, and then count back 3. Okay? That's where your body paragraph should end. Your concluding paragraph ends where you make the last line, line number 25. And then you go back 3 lines. That means you go to line 22. That is where your body paragraph should end. Okay? And then you think about your introductory paragraph. Do you have a lot to say? If no, probably you just need to put aside 3, 4, or 5 lines. Then you mark from the top 3 lines, or 4 or 5, depends on how much you want to say, okay? So when you're writing, your lines, your pencil lines will tell you where you need to stop. It doesn't have to be exact. You can go over like one probably, but you don't need to keep counting how many words you wrote. That is a waste of time, okay? Okay, after you finish writing, you only get 40 minutes, right, for task 2. You've put aside 5 minutes to read the question and to make your outline, and that means you're left with 35 minutes, right? And then you write for 30 minutes. The last 5 minutes should be for proofreading. Never forget to proofread. That is very important, okay? Any questions so far?
We should really pay attention to the time management, right?
Yes.
Because you still have the task one left.
Exactly. You have 20 minutes left. You should have 20 minutes left to do task 1. Any questions?
I'm still remember
Hello?
what you say for the...
Yes.
Yeah. Dean?
Hello, Miss. Could I ask about task 1?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, I have some difficulties about task 1, especially in how to read the table. Yeah, because I don't know the trend of table. Could you give me some suggestion about that?
A table, as in a chart. Sorry,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
percentages and stuff like that. Not a bar chart, not a line graph.
Oh, table, yeah.
Table, okay. So usually when you're looking at yes?
We haven't talked about the task one, so maybe you can first explain about the task one and then you go to answer the question.
Okay. So, thank you. So first of all, you need to understand that you spend 5 minutes first. As always, spend 5 minutes understanding what you're going to explain. Okay? You might get a diagram, you might get a pie chart, you might get a table, you might get a line graph, okay? Or you might even get a picture. So you need to really understand what you're facing before you jump to conclusions and you write, okay? The 5 minutes you spend at the beginning are an investment, okay? So you need to understand first. You need to look at the, what is it called? The landmarks. I would probably call them landmarks. For example, if you're talking about a line graph, the landmarks would be probably at the beginning, which one is the highest, at the end, what is the overall trend? Is it downwards? Is it upwards? Is there a peak? Are there any crossings between lines? Or sometimes lines did not exist and then suddenly they exist. You need to understand all of them. And then you need to, of course, you need to understand what the graph is talking about. Read everything, every single word they printed there. You need to understand exactly what they're comparing, what they're talking about, okay? I found students that try to paraphrase too much and they ended up explaining something and their explanation is completely different from what the graph or chart is talking about. So I suggest that you do not paraphrase the words that they use in the chart or graph or whatever you're facing. Use the words. Changing them carries a risk of changing the meaning, okay? So you're going to write around 150 words. After understanding what you're facing, understanding all the landmarks that you need to address when you're writing, well, you can use the same method as before. You just count how many lines you need to write, okay? You don't really need to fuss about how many paragraphs because there is no set rule of how many paragraphs you need to write. It depends on what you're facing, okay? Just use your, what is it called? Use your common sense. Okay, I think Sekar Galuh has a question.
Yes, Sakari, you can use... What happened with your mic?
Okay.
That seems like
Sakar?
you can hear us, right?
Of course. She's responding.
Okay. Maybe she just read.
She read. Really?
Miss,
She
for
said
the
can. Mm-hmm.
next
For the
week.
what?
Okay. For the task one.
Mm-hmm.
So the difference is the task one, we should read them all. The instruction, the graph and everything, and then we pointed them.
You need to understand exactly what you're looking at.
Exactly. And
You need to
you
understand
mentioned
it.
that we and you
Yes?
mentioned that we don't need to paraphrase it.
Paraphrasing means you're changing the words they use. For example, if they're talking about, let me see,
But does it
transactions. For example, they use the word transactions, and then you change it to something else. Exchange, probably. And then in the end, after people read it, they can't even connect what you're talking about with the actual picture or graph. Okay? So paraphrasing the words that you find in the graph is not a good idea. Okay?
Okay. Yeah. The
Okay, so
problem
let me
sometimes
see.
with answer Sakar first.
Sakar says, where am I supposed to put general pictures in task 1? What do you mean by general pictures? I'm not really sure what you mean.
I think she is still typing.
Yeah, you
For
were
my
saying something?
yeah. For the task one, the difference between task one and you guys, you can keep asking for task two as well. Now we mix both. For the task one, my problem is sometimes I have more words and sentences because they limit the sentence on the words only 150. Sometimes I will spend more than that to explain and answer all the question.
So that means you need to count your lines and make sure that you just talk about the main features of the picture or the graph that you see. Don't,
Yeah, I think that's
you know that you
important.
have this temptation, you have the urge to explain everything. Make sure that you probably underline or circle the points that you really need to. Significant increase, or is it just a gradual change? That you need to address first. Okay? And then, does that answer your question, Sakar?
So we explain something detailed first and then at the end the overall things? Or?
Okay, some sources say that we should put it at the beginning of the paragraph, but others prefer to put it last. It's up to you. Okay? You just use your common sense, look at what you're talking about. Would it make more sense if you described it at the beginning, or does it make more sense if you build the, what is it called, the explanation to reach a conclusion about the overall? Okay? How does that sound?
So it doesn't matter if we put it in the beginning or at the end. So it's like a
It does
default
matter. It does matter, but I can't really tell you which one is better because you need.
So we have to
You need.
decide after we
Yes, you
see
need to
the.
decide.
Okay.
How do you know?
Okay.
By looking at examples. Read other examples that you think represent good, what is it called, explanations of a graph or whatever, and then you see how they arrange the organization. Okay? If they use this type, maybe the overall should be put at the end. Maybe if they use this type, they put it at the beginning. Okay? So just decide on your own. Okay, I hope it helped, even though I'm not sure I helped at all. Okay, so what else should we address? We're still talking about these graphs and whatever. Okay, so one thing that you need to remember when you're explaining a chart graph or whatever in task 1 is please do not include information that is not explicitly shown in the picture. Okay? Sometimes, especially if they're talking about something you are an expert in, you have this urge to add a lot of information that comes from you, and that is not allowed. A big no. Never do that. If it is not explicitly written there or shown there, do not talk about it. Okay? Even though, let's say, you know why suddenly the line is jagged, or let's say why suddenly the use of, for example, bicycles dropped. You don't need to explain it if there is no explanation or there is no picture there about it. Okay? Rein in your urges. Okay, so after you write, remember you have 20 minutes. 5 minutes at the beginning, you need to dedicate to understanding the problem. And then 5 minutes at the end, no, not 5, probably less than that, 3, because you only have like 150 words. 3 minutes at the end, you need to put aside for proofreading, okay? That means you're going to be writing for probably 10 to 12 or 13 minutes, okay? Are there any questions, or did I miss any questions? I think I forgot to answer somebody's question. Yeah, what was the question?
No, I didn't ask anything.
No, not your question. One of your friend's questions.
Okay. Is there any other question?
No, I think at the beginning...
Udin. Yeah, sorry, Udin. He was
Could I
asking about... Yeah, repeat, please.
Yeah, asking about how to rate the tables, because I have some difficulties to rate about trend of table, because it's so many data there and I get confused about that.
Okay.
Would
So
you
you
give
need
me
to look at the
suggestion?
most significant style. There's a really significant change. Let's say they're comparing the
Yes, can I answer another?
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
I put the overall in the, the overall in the trend about the highest and the lowest. Should I put the trend in the body paragraph? Maybe we can say about the highest, because the percent, maybe 80% it's the highest between all, or like that. So we mention again about the trend in the body paragraph. Yeah, what do you think about that?
As I said before, you don't really have a set plan on how many paragraphs you want to write. Sometimes if you have to compare two different things, for example, you're talking about car sales, and then the other one is talking about bicycle sales, you might want to write two paragraphs. So the first paragraph addresses car sales, and the second paragraph addresses bicycle sales. And then let's say you want to write a conclusion, the last sentence, you might want to write one sentence only in the last paragraph where you make a summary of what you just wrote. But if you have only one table, say, and then you have 2 years, you can start with the most significant changes. It doesn't really have a set plan on how to write. The organization is up to you. As long as it makes sense, as long as you seem like an organized person, you can get away with it. Okay?
If we give details, maybe percentage in the body paragraph, and we make comparison about the trend, maybe because it has the 80% and the others is 20%. So we can state that the 80% is the biggest one. So we write down in the body paragraph because it has 80%, it's become the highest percentage or the highest one from others, something like that.
Go ahead. That's fine. Remember, as long as your way of thinking, your thread of thought is logical, people will accept it. Okay, it's okay.
Because I already seen the example of another source that you can stat about the trend in the
Sebenarnya gue ada pertemuan online bulanan gitu sama.
Okay. Let me give you some insight. One of my friends is an actual IELTS examiner. He worked for the British Council, and now he works for IELTS, if I'm not mistaken. His style of writing is very concise, straightforward. He likes people who write in a very concise and straightforward way, whereas other examiners might have a different opinion. We have another teacher who really likes paraphrasing. So if you paraphrase a lot, he will probably give you a higher score. Whereas the first guy, who likes concise writing, would probably prefer you go straight to the point. What are you talking about? No going around in circles. So because your piece of writing will be examined by God knows who, we don't know the style that he or she likes. So it's like a gamble. I believe that as long as you can express your thoughts in an organized way, well, trust in God. Because we have no idea what the preference of this person who is reading our essay is. Okay?
Okay, I got it. Thank you, Miss.
You're welcome.
Yeah, but for me, it's always for the first task. I prefer if I can, but it's very difficult for me to write concisely because, we have very limited words, very limited time, and then, we always get tempted to try to explain everything. But if you just write the
you need to focus.
that's true. That's what I want to remind our friends here, the other guys, that those are the mistakes that I usually made, and that's very clear that you don't need to explain anything for the first task, the task one, because they already have a lot of data, they already have a lot of things to explain. Just pick one, two, and the trends, and then make it in the very good paragraph. I think it helps a lot already.
Okay, thank you, Yahya, for your explanation. Is there anything else about the writing you want to discuss, or maybe we should move on with the speaking because it's already 19 past 9.
Fifi, please.
Yes, Miss. I want to ask about how to get at least 7 in writing. What's the difference between 6.5 or a 7 score? What should I do to get at least 7 here? If I can address the question, I can write. Is that depends on the vocabulary I use or what? Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, actually, they do have what is it called? A scoring sheet. So you will, if you've seen the scoring sheet, you will see that they first of all need to know whether or not you understand the question, how you answered it, did you address the problem that they gave you, and then they also give you score on your vocabulary. What kind of vocabulary did you use? Are you using daily colloquial language, or are you using more academic type language? Do you use a lot of vocabulary that is unusual in the correct place? May I underline again, in the correct place? Because a lot of students pick up words that they think will be impressive to use in the writing. But the problem is they don't really understand the context, where and when they should use these words. So they come across as weird. So if you're not really sure where or when to use these impressive words, I suggest you don't use them, okay? Because they will actually detract from your scores. And then they also will look at your grammar, your grammatical, I forgot what is GRA, grammatical whatever, and accuracy. So that means what kind of grammar did you use? Did you use simple sentences all the time? Did you use simple present sentences correctly? Did you use only the simple tenses? Or did you use, for example, the perfect tenses? So a mix of those different tenses would probably show that you know where and when to use those tenses. So everything you do will be reflected in individual scores, and then they will get an average out of that. Okay, so I can't tell you that, oh, if your organization is good, you're going to get a good score. No, not necessarily, because there are many aspects that they will evaluate before they give you the overall score. Okay.
Okay, Miss, thank you.
Welcome.
I don't know how to get 7 because it needs a very good writing, I think.
I don't know how to get 7 either.
Yeah, because you always got 9. That's why you don't know how to get 7. Yeah, but yeah, you will get 12. Yeah, but I think for get a 6.5 or the medium score, like I got only 6 or 6.5, never get higher. 6 and 6.5 for the writings, and maybe even 7 if we already deliver the idea. I think it's already big chance to get that point. I think, in my opinion, if we already clearly get the idea, they forgive us for the grammar and sometimes for the vocab more compared to the TOEFL. I think this is my opinion.
Okay, I agree. If I were the examiner, I would agree with you, Yahya, because for me, understanding what you're writing is much more important than using impressive words or impressive grammar. That's why I always tell my students to stop, look at what you're going to write, understand. That's why the first 5 minutes, you don't do anything but understand and plan. Okay? Okay, what else do we need to talk about? Is that it? Can I go to sleep?
Not yet. You still have 4 hours. No, but it's up to you, miss, if you're so tired. So
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I didn't work at all today.
Oh yeah. About this is another my opinion. Maybe it can be some about the active and passive. Like you remind me once, miss. Like I use too much passive sentence than the active, which English people usually use active one. Is that right? And in Indonesia, we like to use the passive structure.
Well, if you're writing an academic type of essay, of course, the percentage of passive sentences will be much higher than in a normal conversation. So spoken English, if you're talking about spoken English, the percentage of passive sentences used is around 10%. Whereas if you're talking about academic writing, it's going to be around 25%. So it's more than twice the amount or number of sentences or amount of use of passive sentences in normal conversations. But of course, as I said before, what they are impressed is not by your, what is it called? The number of sentences that are in passive, rather than where you use them. Do you understand exactly how to use these passive sentences instead of changing all your sentences into passive? Okay?
Yeah, like what you said, that sometimes we were like triggered to use the impressive sentence, so we want to make a 1 or 2 complex sentence, and sometimes it's too complex until ourselves.
You don't understand what you're writing.
Remember, I had like once put like 3 subject and 3 object in one sentence, and then you just put it away.
I wanted to cry, Yahya. I wanted to cry.
Doesn't it impressive? No. Okay, other question, guys? Are you still there?
They're asleep.
Other question. I've been speaking like 45 minutes without any interruption, and I don't know. It feels weird, but they're all here. I think they're typing. They're afraid of you, miss.
Oh, really? Amazing.
Yeah.
How come you're not afraid of me?
Yeah, because I told them like don't like don't try
What?
anything with Ms.Zizi. Okay.
Really? So it's
Okay, another
you.
question for the writing, and how, again
And
from me,
not
how to practice it for the writing. Practice, not the other way.
well, actually, reading is a very good way of improving your writing because it provides input. If you read a lot, you will know which pieces of writing are good, which ones are totally bogus. So probably when you reread your writing, you feel, what is it, unsatisfied with what you wrote. So that means you want to improve it. That's good. So probably by reading a lot of well-written pieces, you will get a very good example of what is expected from you.
Is reading novel counted?
Reading novels is my guilty pleasure. So I would say I've learned a lot from novels. It depends on what type of novel you like. I mean, I love science fiction, and the difference between Indonesian novels and novels written by God knows who out there is that they do their homework. They do research. So when they talk about, let's say, a super flu bug, they would actually talk to doctors. They would talk to researchers. They would talk to lab assistants to make what they write as close to the truth as possible. So you can actually learn stuff. I actually learned about a type of cancer by reading a novel. And for me, you can
Hello?
actually expand your vocabulary by reading novels. So go ahead.
Okay. So yeah, beside the practice, the writing test, we should read a lot, and then it will
Yes, you
help.
should.
But it should be good written pieces. Okay. If there are other question, you can just ask. But now we can move to the last chapter. Is the speaking. Okay.
I
So
think I
that
don't need to talk
speaking.
about the speaking. You know exactly what to expect. Right, Yahya?
No. No. You can
How
please.
many parts are there? How many parts are there? Yahya, hello.
Speaking first is wait. It's like a 2 years memory. First I come and then I will find the native there on the table, and then they will ask a short
What? The
question.
native is on the table? Wait a second. The native is sitting on the table?
uh, behind the table,
Okay.
not on the table. Okay, and then I think the first is the short questions. They will ask me short question, and then they will ask me, the second part is to read something, and then they will ask me to answer based on what I read. And then the last one, they will ask one question that I have to explain.
Okay, more or
Explain.
less you nailed it. Alhamdulillah, you still remember. Okay, so the first part is usually personal information. So they will ask you about
Oh
your
yeah.
preferences, your habits, your hometown, the foods you like, the things you don't like. So the first part is always the easiest because who is the expert about you? You are. Okay? You can actually lie and get away with it because nobody knows that you're lying.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay?
If we do lie, we have to be consistent and we have to be
Yes.
very confident. Yeah,
That's why I
convincing
always tell my
lying.
students, if you want to lie, you have to make sure that your lies are, what is it called, believable, and that you
Convincing.
remember what you lied about. Because
Okay.
if you lose track of what you lied about, you're going to be in hot water. Okay, so the questions are usually about things that are close to your everyday life. Should be easy, okay? When you're doing task one, what you need to remember is do not answer with only a few words. I suggest at least two
So,
sentences. So if the question is, how often do you exercise? That's what the examiner says. And you say, once a week. Silence. The examiner looks at you look at the examiner, you look at each other, you're eyeing each other, awkward moments, okay? So what you need
mhm.
to do is answer using sentences. You can explain, even though the question is, for example, how often do you exercise? You can start out with, I exercise once a week, but you add information. I love going swimming with my family. We usually swim at a swimming pool, which is, let's say, next to my housing complex. Add information, okay? Because if not,
2 sentences at least.
yeah, at least 2 sentences, not too long. But usually if you're talking for too long, the examiner will probably look impatient. So that's your clue to shut up and wait for the next question.
And also another problem, if we speak more, there are more chance to make a mistake. Is that right, Miss?
Well, if you don't speak up, how are they going to give you scores?
Yeah. So I think we don't speak too short, but also be aware. Sometimes I don't know, because the native they're not intimidating. They're very friendly. So I really remember my first listening. I got very bad score, but not very good, because I was so confident. I don't know why. And then I explained everything, and then I knew that I made a lot of mistake from many sentences that I spoke.
Okay, so yeah, the first part is supposed to be easy. You can actually practice a lot for part one because the type of questions that they give you is limited. How many types of personal information questions can they have? If you go online, you can probably collect all types of questions. I mean, all variants of the questions, and then you create cue cards. Then let's say you work together with a friend or a roommate or somebody in your family. Ask them to randomly pull out these cards from a bag and then ask you questions during the day. Let's say you're eating lunch and then suddenly your sister whips out a question, answer her. By doing that, you're going to feel comfortable because you have answered that question before once you receive the same question in the test. And you can probably work on your grammar and your vocabulary at the same time because you know what's going to be expected. You know what kind of words you're going to be using, what kind of grammar you're going to use. And hopefully it will improve both your vocabulary and your grammar. So for this, you can actually practice. Okay. Any questions about part one?
Any question?
Yes.
Scar has question.
Is it true that using many chunk words will make your score higher? What is a chunk word? I'm so sorry, I don't understand what chunk words are.
Well, what's your name? My name is Ki Chang. Yeah.
Huh? What?
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Scar is typing. How about the others? Are you still there? Mas Faruqi, Faik, Udin? Yeah, it's Udin, Sakar. Scar is typing. Fifi, Asi, haven't heard your voice.
Words
Also,
to make a new meaning. Okay. So probably what you're talking about is paired
butterfly
verbs.
effect. Yeah.
Huh?
Butterfly
Maybe
effect,
idioms. Yeah, that
cutting
does make
edge.
sense. Okay. It's more about using a varied vocabulary. So if you ask a question to, let's say, somebody who has just begun learning English, and you compare to a person who has been studying English for 6 years, you're going to see a vast difference in the amount of idiomatic language or colloquial language that they can use. Okay? So if this person has been abroad, has lived in, let's say, America or in the UK, you're going to see that they have a lot of words that you don't really understand. Probably that's what Sakar means. Like, I could say that you nailed it. Yeah, okay. Fall head over heels and that. Okay, yeah. Expressions like that, yes, it would signify that you are very comfortable with the language and that you also incorporated the culture part of the language. Because language is not simply about words. It is more about culture. So if you talk to an American and you talk to a British person, they would probably use very different expressions. And people can usually tell what type of language you're using by the expressions that you use. Okay? So how do you improve this? I would probably suggest you watch talk shows like Oprah Winfrey rerun. Do you still watch Oprah Winfrey? No.
Ellen. I watch Ellen.
Ellen DeGeneres or something like that. I have never watched her
Yeah.
before. Talk shows are a really good way of improving your vocabulary for speaking because that's what it is. It's like somebody's interviewing you, right? So you can probably adopt these words that these people are using. These people are native speakers. They're going to use a lot of colloquial language. Pick them up, okay? Watch them. If possible, freeze, what is it called? Pause the recording, whatever. If you find an expression that you want to try out. So repeat the words or the expressions several times. Make yourself comfortable with saying them. And then make sure that you understand in what situation you can use them. Okay? And probably, again, reading novels is a very good way of improving your colloquial language. So if you read what is it called, modern novels that has a lot of chattiness, lots of dialogues in it, not too serious, you will probably learn a lot of new expressions.
Okay.
Oh my goodness,
then,
you're chatting about Jimmy Fallon?
And did you watch the session with Nicole
Where?
Kidman? Jimmy
Where?
Fallon.
No,
I don't know. I
where?
watched it in YouTube. YouTube. I don't have the TV.
You don't have a TV? That's great.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, but I have internet and I can do streaming. Okay. How to the next step of the speaking? The first part is the personal question. So yeah, we really can practice it. Don't dare to come, and then we come to the native people and they ask about what's our father's job and we don't know how to explain it. That's we should really know how to say it in English. That happened to me.
Yeah.
I said, "Here, my father is a teacher for the colleague." I didn't know what lecture means before. That's so stupid.
I wonder who your teacher was. You should probably just kill her. She didn't tell you what dad's job is? MashaAllah. What a terrible teacher. Okay. Yeah, practicing.
But actually, if we don't know, we can just lie, like what you said. We can just lie convincingly.
Mm-hmm. Make sure you make notes of what your lies are, so you can keep them straight.
Yeah. Okay. The second part. What is the second part, Miss?
I don't know. You tell me.
Oh my God, Fifi, what is the second part is? Udin, have you done it? Sekar, Sekar, she has done it. Sekar, answer. Sekar
Hello?
can hear us. Okay, Udin, yeah. What is the second part? The second type of question
It's
after
about
the...
this. Yeah. Yeah, I think you tell about how to describe something in 2 minutes. Yeah, we just have more of that. Yeah, I think that's I know.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so actually it's a mini presentation. So they give you a cue card, they give you a pencil and paper. So they give you an opportunity to plan what you're going to say. Okay? So the questions usually have 4 aspects. There are 3 questions about describing and 1 question about explaining. So the way they get your score is by making sure that you answered all 4 of them. My suggestion is you use the paper efficiently and your time, which is only 1 minute, by making a mind map. You do know how to make a mind map, right? So I suggest you practice making mind maps, and then the cue card will be taken away from you, and you must rely on your notes to present your 2-minute mini presentation. Okay? So these notes should be well organized so that your talk will also be well organized. Okay?
So it's
That's it.
good advice. Yeah. To make the mind map from the question, yeah, they will give like a, yeah, four questions, short, and an explanation. We should really answer in the 2 minutes. Yeah. How to make an effective mind map? Okay.
Okay, so an effective mind map would start with the topic. So you have a circle, right, in the center. You write down the topic. What do they want you to address? For example, they asked you to talk about a store you often visit near your house. Okay, so the center circle would probably have the words, what is the name of the store that you like to visit? Maybe it's an Alpha Mart, so you write down Alpha Mart, and then they want you to explain what the store looks like, what goods they sell, and then, for example, where it's located, and the last one is explain why you like shopping there. So your center circle or bubble should have 4 arms. The first arm is dedicated to what does the store look like. The second arm is what the store sells. The third one is probably the location, and the last one is why you like it. So those words will be in those circles. Okay, and then let's say the first branch is what the store looks like. So you simply write look like. Don't waste your time on writing sentences. Just choose the keywords. Okay, after you fill in the first bubble, which is the first branch, the second bubble, which is the first branch, you go to the second branch, which is what it sells. Okay, so you just write, for example, what sell. Okay, and then you go to the third bubble, the fourth bubble, the third branch, you write location. Then the last bubble is why I like it. Okay, after you've written all of those 5 bubbles, which represent your topic, and then subtopic 1, 2, 3, and 4, then you can add more branches to each of these bubbles. But if you don't really have enough time, that would probably be enough to jog your memory when you're speaking. Okay, so that's why you start from the center and then you go to the peripheral, bubbles, and then you keep branching out. If you have more time, you can add more information. That's why we use a mind map instead of a linear type of note. Okay? Is that clear? I can't really describe it because I usually draw on the whiteboard, and I don't have a whiteboard here.
Yeah, but that's true. Since we only need to answer like 4 questions, yeah, write the keywords, and yeah, sometimes I also pick the conjunction and several supporting words that I will use. But
That's a good idea.
I didn't write many things.
Yes, just jot down the main ideas. You don't really need to write every single detail. That would be defeating the purpose of your mind map.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions, or we can go on to the last part?
I think Scar is satisfied, but Scar, if you want to give any comment, you can just comment it again. And also the other who are still alive, you can just comment wherever you want. Okay, and then we can jump to the last section. Is that true? Last section of the last part of the speaking is, I forget. Scar,
It's the
answer.
discussion.
Scar, answer.
Somebody.
Or Fifi, you want to ask?
Vivi, you wanted to contribute?
Yeah, pastry is the best. Scar, she just did the test, Miss, around 1 month ago, if I'm not mistaken. Less than 1 month ago. So it's still fresh in her mind. It's her first test. It was her first test. Right, Scar? Am I mistaken? It was you, right? Miss Scar, answer partly is the most abstract session. My God. Ms.Zizi is good. That's the most. Vivi, do you want to add something? What is the third?
No, but I don't want to ask something. I just want to say about part 3. The
Yeah,
next
okay.
part is discussion topic, only that.
Sorry? It was what?
I just want to say, because you asked about the third part is discussion topic, I just want to answer. Only that.
Okay. It's the discussion topic.
Yeah.
I'm trying to reconnect with Ms.Zizi. Maybe she's upset. Meeting. It's always felt to call them. I think if, oh my God. Okay, guys. Mrs. said that she was running out the quota. It was so unexpected and so unfortunate. Okay, let's finish this session. So yeah, for the last one, it's a discussion part that the Vivi can explain more what will happen in the discussion part. Or Sakar, you just said it a month ago. What the native guys asked you to do in the discussion. Okay, Vivi, please.
I think Meski will present it because I think I don't have enough qualification to do this. Thank you.
No, I mean just what happened there.
Okay, for the part 3 is discussion topic. So commonly there are two topics that examiner asks us. Is for example about maybe about doing new things or learning new things. So the difference between part 3 and part 1 is in part 1 we should answer the question, but we don't need to elaborate. But for the part 3 we have to elaborate more, because when we elaborate more, my teacher said that it will increase our score. I think only that as I know, mas.
Okay, thank you, Vivi.
Yeah,
And
no
also,
worries.
Sakar said that he asked me what how people usually travel to work. Yeah, and what the differences between bus and current transportation. Yeah. Also, what it's been mentioned by Vivi as well is more to the discussion when we will have more questions, and we will start asking the question from him or her. I haven't have got ladies, but yeah, it's probably. And then after we answer the question, and they will come up with another question. So when we answer the question, they will come up with another question following based on the answer that we gave. So it's really like the continuous conversation with the native. What makes it difficult? Sometimes when we speak a lot about the answer, and then when they come up with the answer, they will, like when we explain about our house, if they ask about our house, then we start explaining about our house and we start explaining about the color of our house. And it possibly that they come to the question about the color. So the issue and or the topic can rise to another area that maybe we are not prepared on it. So my opinion and my suggestion, what I had during that time, like what I said in the first part of the speaking test, you can just say not many words, not very short, not 2 words, but like 2 sentences, like what Ms.Zizi said. Why? Because if we already have, especially for the last one, because the last one is continuous discussion. If they are not satisfied, they will ask. If they are not satisfied, they will ask again. They will come to another question. It's different with the first part. The first part, they already have the only limited question. But the last part, the third part, they will come always with new question. So it's good for us to answer it. It's in the very proportional number of sentences. Because the more we talk, the bigger chance to make a mistakes. But the less we talk, the lesser chance. But what we have to make sure that we answer his question. It's only my opinion. And Sekar Galo, he answered like he asked me about how people usually travel to work, but he didn't respond my answer to have further discussion. He only bombarded me with question in task 3. What do you mean, Sekar? He has another list of questions? Suddenly intimidated with it. Udin, you can use your mic. That's what happened to me. Like the guys asked me about the what do you think? I still remember the last one. You only bombard me with question in task 3. You mean he didn't ask you any other things after you answer? Or what? Yeah, based on my experience, he asked me, I still remember the guy, about what do you think if you talk to people that you never know before? Maybe you'll be more open than if you talk to the people that you haven't met before, that you already knew. Because sometimes if you talk with your friends, you already know each other, you already have a barrier on it. Do you think that's also happened to you? That's the question to me. And answer yes. And then the nice thing, I just experienced that I talk a lot with people that I just met. So yeah, that's what I did, and then I answer every question in 1, 2, 3, maximum 3 sentences. And if he is interested, and he was interested, he come up to another question. So it became a very nice conversation. I don't know at that time why it's so confident for me. With other question quickly. Okay, Sekar. Okay. I mean, that's for me. We'll take real test this one. Okay.
Halo.
Halo Din, ya gimana Din? What happened Din?
Bahasa Indonesia aja Mas ya.
Oke.
Halo. Jadi apa ya? Kadang kalau misalnya kita penilaiannya di speaking itu salah satunya kan fluency dan grammar
Ya.
ya dinilai.
Ya.
Nah, kadang kalau misalnya kita fokus ke fluency itu grammar kita hancur gitu ya, karena belum biasa. Terus kalau kadang kalau kita fokus grammar, kadang pusing kita berkurang karena mikir dulu gitu.
Ya.
Ya, itu gimana tuh Mas? Balansinya gimana? Ya.
Balansinya gimana? Iya, kalau yang kayak saya ceritain kan, saya bilang, saya tes dulu pertama kali banget itu overconfident. Jadi kayak pengen fluency karena emang ya udah ngomong asal grammar terabas, ngomong banyak. Akhirnya ternyata di situ berat juga kan. Dan saya tipikal orang kalau ngomong, kalian juga pasti ngerasain ngomongnya cepet-cepet. Nah, itu sebenarnya agak bahaya. Jadi ketika ngomong udah cepet terus pengennya kayak ngejelasin, soalnya merekanya kayak confident gitu, kayak ngerti gitu, kayak mereka pasti baik gitu ke kita. Nggak mungkin mereka intimidating, nggak boleh sebenarnya ya. Harusnya makanya dikasihin kalau dapet yang intimidating. Ya mereka tuh biasanya welcome, dan ketika kita itu jadi overconfident, itu bahayanya. Jadi saran dari saya sih yang harus dijaga adalah temponya harus dijaga. Dengan ngejaga tempo itu ngasih waktu sedikit buat kita berpikir tentang bener enggaknya kata yang kita pakai, bener enggaknya kalimat yang kita buat, dan kenapa enggak ke jawabannya. Fokusnya kan kalau dia nanya, jawab idenya tuh terjawab, pertanyaan terjawab. Nah, kita ngatur tempo itu yang gue lakuin pas yang terakhir kali temponya diatur santai, karena ketika kita mikir kita ngomong lama, kita pasti kan karena suka mikir nih kita ngomongnya terbata-bata. Padahal kenyataannya itu di pikiran kita yang kelihatan lama banget. Padahal di pikiran dia nggak terlalu kelihatan lama gitu. Padahal temponya biasa aja. Kita takut kalau kita nggak segera ngomong kayak kelamaan, kayak ngerti. Padahal nggak, biasa aja. Ngomong temponya standar, biasa dijaga, nah kayak gitu. Jadi ada waktu mikir, itu sih Din gitu. Terkait dengan fluently-nya lebih ke ketika kita bisa jaga tempo, kita ada waktu buat mikir lebih aja. Kayak gitu. Jadi ya jangan sampai jadi pelan-pelan juga, tapi kalau gue bilang ketika kita bisa mikirin, sedikit mikirin kita bener apa nggak umumnya, itu udah cukup. Kayak gitu.
Ya, ada lagi Mas, boleh Mas?
Boleh.
Halo? Ya, jadi
Iya, silakan.
kemarin kan saya sempat simulasi gitu sama orang di kampung Inggris sana gitu, asesornya. Terus dia bilang katanya kalau saya ngomong itu, kalau misalnya ide nggak serak dengan apa yang saya omongin, saya bakal kelihatan hesitation-nya gitu, keraguannya. Itu gimana ya cara mengurangi hesitation kayak gitu? Jadi akan suara itu bakal bergetar gitu. Jadi kalau misalnya ide saya
kamu,
ya, saya ragu menjawab saya kadang bisa dikenalin gitu, kayak ada getaran atau gimana. Jadi beda sama suara ketika ngomong biasa gitu sih.
Ketika kamu tahu, ya berarti itu dia. Ketika kamu tahu, kamu bakal lebih terburu-buru kan. Padahal harusnya kita ketika tahu kita jaga tempo, sehingga ketika kita nggak tahu juga emang kita temponya segitu. Jadi examinernya nggak ngelihat perubahan ya pada diri kita. Itu yang gue ngerasa sih waktu itu, gue di yang dulu pertama kali tes sama tes ketiga, di situ yang bedanya. Yang pertama terlalu bla 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 bla, akhirnya karena ngerasa tahu. Tapi benar ketika dikasih pertanyaan yang nggak tahu, mungkin jadi agak sedikit panik, agak sedikit lambat. Itu mungkin kamu bisa perhatiin deh, mungkin kamu nggak tahu atau kamu emang nervous. Jadi saran gue berarti temponya dari awal udah dijaga tenang, dan kalau nggak tahu jawabnya setengahnya aja. Dan kalau misalnya ada yang ngerti pertanyaan dari si ini, ya ini penting. Kalau ada pertanyaan dari si pewawancara yang kamu gak ngerti, kamu tanya aja ke dia. Nah, pardon atau apa, can you repeat, kayak gitu. Jangan sampai, gue pernah kok sekali kayak gitu. Kan takut kan kayaknya ngerasa ntar ngurangin nilai nih, kayak kita nggak ngerti. Daripada kita sosokan jawab padahal kita nggak ngerti soalnya, mending tanya maksudnya apa pertanyaan dia. Gitu ya, tanya dengan baik. Gue pernah nanya kok yang terakhir kali, yang ketiga tuh yang dapat nilai tinggi, gue nanya ke dia, pardon, what do you mean? Do you mean this or that gitu. Akhirnya dia jelasin, oke, habis itu baru jalan jelasin gitu. Gak usah takut buat nanya, mastiin daripada kita ragu jawab. Kan ragu jawab kan biasanya antara kita nggak ngerti pertanyaannya atau nggak ngerti jawabannya kan. Tapi kan kalau kayak gini kan jawabannya kan sebenarnya kurang lebih pasti opini kita atau apa kan. Nah itu biasanya ragu ketika kita nggak terlalu ngerti pertanyaannya gitu, betul nggak? Nah ketika itu tanya aja.
Ya.
Itu sih dari saran dari gue.
Oke. Makasih Mas.
Iya, sama-sama. Ya ini Sekar nih, kasihan nih dia Sekar. Jadi Sekar dia itu ketika kamu jawab, dia nggak ngelanjutin berdasarkan dari jawaban kamu gitu ya. Dia lanjut langsung dengan pertanyaan-pertanyaan berikutnya. Quickly itu maksudnya nggak ngasih kamu tempo. Terus pertanyaannya itu makin susah gitu. And during speaking test, the examiner didn't make any contact. Wah, sebenarnya sih kayaknya apa namanya, kamu berkurang beruntung ya. Karena kalau pertanyaan makin susah itu ya, itu memang naik ya, pertanyaan makin susah. Apalagi kalau kita nervous, kita ngerasa makin susah. Tapi seharusnya si examiner itu sangat tidak intimidating. Itu sebenarnya nggak boleh kalau dia tidak pernah dikasih tahu sama guru. Jadi mereka tuh biasanya harus itu sangat welcome dan membuat kita ngerasa confident. Tapi mungkin yang udah pernah tes lagi, Vivi, kamu gimana pengalaman speaking? Are you there still?
Kalau aku speakingnya ditanyain gini Mas, misalnya tanyain tentang apa kamu suka baca majalah kalau nggak salah ya. Terus ditanyain majalah apa yang kamu baca. Aku awalnya udah make story, terus ditanyain lagi sampai aku nggak tahu.
Story-nya gimana maksudnya?
Soalnya majalah apa kamu suka, bingung cara ininya apanya. Awalnya nggak dress questionnya nggak jelas, habis itu majalah apa ya bagusnya, yang aku ngerti banget itu kurang dapat feel-nya waktu itu. Terus ditanya lagi sampai nggak berani jawab.
Iya. Dan yang sampai nggak berani jawab, maksudnya kamu jadi
nggak tahu mau jawab apa gitu.
Oke, questionnya ya.
Iya.
Ya kadang-kadang gitu memang. Ketika yang tadi di sesi pertama kita berbohong itu aman karena pendek. Sesi ketiga ini emang bahaya sekali kalau berbohong karena itu ada kejadian dia punya pertanyaan lagi, ada kejadian dia ngikutin jawaban kita gitu. Jadi kalau kita udah mulai ragu jawabnya, dikejar sama dia, dikejar sama dia bisa tewas gitu. Kalau akhirnya kayak ya kalau yang ini gua saranin memang jawabnya lebih honest sih kalau kita nggak bisa konsisten dan panjang bohong lebih honest aja jawabnya. Ketika kita tanya suka baca apa, bilang aja nggak suka baca gitu biar dia mikir pertanyaan berikutnya apa. Tapi beneran,
Aku mau jawab,
dia
iya
dia
aku mau
dia
jawab kayak gitu, gak suka baca majalah misalnya,
ah,
misalnya sukanya baca novel
ah,
atau jurnal kayak gitu kan.
iya
Tapi kalau
kayak gitu aja.
takutnya gimana ya Mas? Udah stop gitu aja. Jadi aku nggak elaborate jawabannya soal
Enggak.
pertanyaannya.
Sebenarnya gini, gue pernah dikasih tahu ya, ketika lagi ada tes kayak gitu, dia kan bakal menilai dari apa yang keluar dari jawaban kita ya. Dan dia punya tugas juga untuk memiliki membuat kita berbicara dengan kondisi cukup banyak. Ketika akhirnya itu dia pasti bakal ngejar. Ketika tadi kita bilang kita nggak suka baca majalah, saya suka baca novel. Dia pasti akan ada sampai satu limit, dia akan berusaha untuk nanya ke kita karena dia nggak mungkin dong semain kita tanpa kita ngomong cukup bicara kan gitu pasti ada limitnya karena kan setiap obrolan kalau yang kamu tahu kan ketika listening itu dia nggak langsung nilai di situ gitu mungkin dia nilai di situ lebih ke gimana perawakan kita ketika bicara ya tapi secara nilai isi sesi ya kan dia paham gitu jadi dia pasti sebenarnya langsung yakin langsung positif jelek ketika itu dia pasti bakal come up with another question dia udah yakin udah tahu oke ini anak saya yang tahu enaknya stabil segini oke kalau enggak ya dia memang biasanya ngejar sampai limitnya kalau dia melihat keraguan-keraguan dari kita dia ngejar sampai limitnya itu benar jadi dikejar-kejar ya
Iya.
sih gitu semua
Gimana Mas?
kalau grogi ya kalau dikejar gitu ya
Iya, soalnya kan udah make up story di awal, jadi nggak bisa nguasain diri gitu istilahnya.
ya, ya betul emang susah kalau make up story ya benar ya kalau gue kebetulan yang ketiga itu waktu itu memang pas lagi topiknya mirip banget, gue baru pulang dari Singapura hari Rabu, hari Sabtu tes, kejadian di Singapura, gue ngobrol sama orang asing gitu di toko. Ya udah jelasin ke orangnya. Pas betul. Oh ya satu lagi, ketika kita ditanya ngobrol yang ketiga ini kan terus kita harus konsisten ketika kita mulai pakai present atau pakai past tense. Itu dia. Karena kadang nggak konsisten di situ kan kita kalau ceritain masa lalu kan tentang past terus selalu diingat pas kayak gitu itu yang harus diingat ketika speak ini yang paling kebanyakan kita cerita pakai past tense yang harus diingat. Gimana yang lain masih ada pertanyaan sekali lagi dari Ms.Zizi ini maaf kata dia dia bilang mohon maaf banget ini tiba-tiba mati terus dia ngerasa kalau nggak bisa bikin menarik dia kira dia ngerasa dia bicara sama dirinya sendiri gitu. Kalau saya ceritain kalau saya biasanya 40 menit ngomong sendiri nggak tahu ada orang gitu apa nggak di sana kan. Okay, any other question? Buat yang speaking yang terakhir kan tadi dibagi menjadi 3 personal pertanyaan pribadi seputar diri kita dan itu harus disiapin ya jangan sampai kayak sendiri bingung akhirnya hal yang sekitaran buat nyebutin itu dipraktisin kadang-kadang kita tahu jawabannya tapi nggak tahu gimana jawab di Inggris kan dipraktisin gitu kan punya berapa sibling punya berapa apa tinggal di mana suka apa itu yang daily itu gampang akhirnya bikin notes pendek meme sebenarnya pertanyaannya nggak bakal panjang cuman kita kadang-kadang kayak pengen ngayalin semua yang pengen kita omongin kan kita dikasih waktu tuh semenit buat bikin sketsa apa yang kita jawab jangan sampai mikir buat ngayalin semuanya kalau kita mau omongin di saat itu cukup buat bikin meme dan underline keyword-keywordnya nanti baru ngomonginnya santai aja ketika lagi presentasi nah lagi presentasinya itu kan dikasih waktu 2 menit tenang aja 2 menit itu sebenarnya tidak secepat yang kita takuti jadi kita kadang-kadang ngomong cepat banyak cepet-cepet padahal nggak 2 menit itu beneran 2 menit itu cukup lama jadi ngomongin terus yang ke terakhir itu yang discussion bakal dikasih pertanyaan dia mungkin udah ada beberapa pertanyaan antisipasi tapi dia bakal sangat bebas untuk loncat ke pertanyaan lain intinya di situ dia pengen ngasih pertanyaan kalau kita nggak ngerti itu kita tanya aja. Saya nggak ngerti pertanyaannya, tanya aja. Gitu. Terus kalau tadi ada pertanyaan yang nggak sesuai jawabannya sama kita, sebenarnya kamu suka baca majalah apa? Kalau kamu nggak suka baca majalah, bilang aja nggak suka. Nanti kalau bilang suka terus di make up story, kayak Bibi cerita itu benar. Sama dia dikejar, kadang-kadang jadi bingung kan mau jawab apa lagi. Masa di akhirnya, sebenarnya saya ngebohong. Kan lucu juga. Kayak gitu. Tambahan tadi, jangan lupa tensesnya, sama tempo dijaga. Terutama yang biasa ngomong cepat. Kayak gua bahasa Indonesia aja bisa cepet banget ngomong, bahasa Inggris juga tetap ke bawah. Any other question? You can use your mic, Din. Oke, masuk senang. Oke. Siapa yang sebenarnya masih di sini? Asik, nggak ada suaranya dari tadi asik. Mas Farki juga, Ajeng juga. Tepar ya? Oke, kalau ada Ajeng. Kalau sudah tidak ada, jangan speechless, asik. Kan ini hal yang udah pasti mau kita jalani ya. Emang dream kita kan ada yang salah satu tantangannya ini. Jadi mau harus dicicil gitu. Semangat. Kayak Udin mau tes kapan nih? Minggu depan ya? Sekarang kapan tes lagi? Waktu dekat ini ya? Tanggal semangat sekarang. Tadi Ms.Zizi udah kasih beberapa ini ya, beberapa clue. Ayo semangat. Vivi juga bentar lagi kan. Vivi British, aksennya kerasa banget, sengaja. Atau emang kalau orang Padang ngomong British yang sendiri.
Gimana maksudnya, Mas?
Kamu ngomong aksennya British banget, sengaja. Atau emang kalau orang Padang ngomong Inggris jadi kayak gitu?
Enggak, Mas. Kebawa ada yang di sini. Mulai kebawa gitu.
Oh, kebawa. Mulai kebawa orang. Kebanyakan nonton Jimmy Fallon, bukan, itu masih Sekar ya? Masa? Ini Inggris. Oke. Kalau tidak ada, saya cukupkan dulu. Semoga memberi sedikit gambaran dan nambah info buat Ielts dan TOEFL ya. TOEFL di awal ada dibahas dikit ya, tapi dari Bu Zizi juga merekomendasikan buat Ielts ya. Bahan PPT TOEFL bisa dibaca juga, ada. Terus kalau ada pertanyaan lagi ke depannya, hubungi aja terkait ini. Karena Inggris ini momok emang harus dilewatin dan pasti bisa. Oke, sekarang masih semangat. Yang kejadian kemarin diambil hikmahnya aja, anggap nggak beruntung. Oh, belajar banyak kan dari situ. Lihat Vivi masih tempur. Sama buat tadi ya, nenangin diri itu penting banget sih, memang nenangin diri. Tapi benar, kalau udah banyak praktis dan segala macem, insya Allah sih bisa lebih tenang gitu. Dan speaking bener, speaking itu praktisin juga ngomong dari sekarang. Kan tadi kan akhirnya kalau sama Ms.Zizi memang dari pertama kali pertemuan banget, saya langsung sama Ms.Zizi pakai bahasa Inggris terus aja, dia nggak mau bahasa Indonesia terus-terusan gitu pakai bahasa Inggris. Sekarang chat-chatan juga SMS-an masih pakai bahasa Inggris. Karena memang ngomong dipraktikin. Dulu saya kebantunya juga di kantor ada teman lagi improve Inggrisnya, mau nggak mau dipraktikin sehari-hari. Bawa ke bawah kok bergunanya buat ketika writing, ketika segala macam gitu. Oke? Sekian dari saya. Mohon maaf. Kita tutup. Nggak ada tugas. Kan udah kan kemarin. Bertemu lagi formalnya di teori depan. Jangan lupa tugasnya. Tapi buat Ielts beneran kalau mau nanya buka aja. Oke, yang bentar lagi mau tes ya. Udin sama Skar ya. Sama Vivi mau tes lagi ya. Asih udah ada gambaran mau tes di mana? Jangan lupa ambil les. Iya, tahun depan. Ya, mantap. Bentar lagi ya. Wow, keren. Oke deh. Sekian dari saya.